Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Uncut and After Show. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this, my second channel, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with all the Flat Earth Debate pre-show and after-show goodness. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere, and there's also a crypto and PayPal link in the info box below this video. Now, we're joined by a whole bunch of people in the panel, as it is the in-between bit between the two shows, so I'll pass over to them, and hopefully there's a reasonably riveting conversation already in flow.
Right.
Yeah.
Completely flat.
So they want to say we can see it down on the ground over the sea or whatever, or over a bridge, but then what is it? Which one is it?
5 minutes and we're live again.
I think actually when you go up higher, as you start to increase in elevation, I don't think you'd see the curve. I think it would have presented itself as flat apart from the horizon. As you start gaining altitude, the horizon would appear to look more curved, but I don't think you'd see the curve on the ground because it's so subtle until you got really high, and then you would realize that you are looking behind the curve.
All right, so wait a minute. So Rumpus is trying to say that the Soundly picture, because it was taken over water, that proves Earth curvature, and Jose's picture, not it because it was taken over land, wasn't. But in Soundly's picture, the bridge, you could see the bridge and all that curving, right?
Yeah.
So it's the water in that picture that makes the bridge curve. Is that what he was trying to say?
I think I know what he was trying to say. He was trying to say that water is always level, which means you can't compare it to the rail tracks, because those rail tracks apparently sometimes wobble a little bit, right? Because it isn't perfectly flat to him. So
yeah, and waves do the same thing to the water, so that you
Right.
can fuck off with it.
yeah, I'm on a kind of interesting point right now, because I realized some time ago it can't be curvature and perspective at the same time. So
Right.
Well, if it was curvature and perspective, it would make it look double the curve, and they would be saying it's not actually double. It's not the way it looks. It's only half the curve because the other half of it is perspective.
are you sure that it's like 50-50 on that
think
other
so, because-
ratios?
If we're getting perspective that sometimes makes it look like that, then it means that if it was actually curved, it would make it look more curved. So the logical progression would be that it would do both, and it would look way curvier than what it is, and then that would be explained by perspective. No, sorry, by refraction. But if it isn't actually, it's like when they have the gyroscopes and they put the gyroscopes down and it measures the light in the sky moving at 15 degrees an hour. Well, if the Earth were actually spinning and the sky, and it wasn't the sky moving, you would have I'm gonna put it the wrong way around. Ignore me. I've lost my track of thought.
Oh, no problem.
But my biggest problem is in that Soundlink picture, right? You have the water, everything. Sure, it looks curved, right? But then you have that big tower all the way in the background, completely standing up 90 degrees straight up. So
Yeah.
if that's Earth curve, how is that tower just standing up, dropping down somehow, tilting something? How is that possible that the Earth curves right over here where you can see it, but then in the background we still have things standing at 90 degrees straight up? Like, it makes no fucking sense.
Yeah, I mean, let's say 1 degree tilt, right? So in order to see the degree tilt, you can see it by looking at the tower itself, how the top part of the tower would look little smaller than the bottom part, because it is always tilting away from you from my perspective.
Exactly.
When you look at the Earth, and as like a, I don't know, you take a ball in your hand, and then you look at the Earth, you could see the tilt. Yeah, you could see like those I don't know, those sticks on the ball, you could see them tilting in different directions. Yet if you are on the Earth or on the ball, they will always tilt away from you. It depends where you are, right? So
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they're live, and there's also a PayPal and crypto link in the info box below this video. Most importantly, if you would like to join the discussion, simply mute the page we are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcomed back on the next stream. Please also share the show. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show on Facebook and Twitter. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now we are joined by Zinda, the Plain Truth, Sleeping Warrior, Physics Warrior, Jose, Eric, Chocolate Sane, and Arwin. Good to have you all.
Yo.
Cheers.
Greetings.
Good afternoon.
Good morning, good morning.
Morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, good morning, good afternoon. So, any signs of curvature?
No.
No, Nathan.
Visual hops.
Hey, Ranty.
Ranty.
And T.
Good day.
Good day.
Yo.
So, any signs of axial rotation of the Earth-based variety as Ranty's here?
Nope.
Nope.
Hey, Ranty, nice picture, man.
You like
Any
that?
evidence that you
It's
can have
cool,
a gas
isn't it?
pressure without a container?
Yeah. Where did you get that? Yeah. I'm sorry, Nathan.
It's alright.
No problem. No container. No, the answer.
Two.
So, what's this, Anthony, that you've shared with us? Just a picture of wiggly railways.
Apparently, the railway lines. There's an argument to say that railway lines are not actually straight. Now, what I'm going to say is this is the submitted evidence to support the notion that railway lines are not necessarily flat, not straight, flat. I meant to say flat. But I'm going to say that what you're seeing there is probably in the Soviet Union somewhere where they've not spent any money on railways for 20 years, and you've got you've got a bouncy castle. So unless we're going to argue that the state of the US railways is comparable to the state of the Soviets in the Cold era, in the Cold War era, then I don't think it's a credible argument to argue that there's such a thing as bendy railway tracks. It's definitely worth showing just to show how stupid their arguments have become.
Right. I'm
Yeah,
sure at
see
some point
the state
during...
of Texas to see how many hills he has and how many up and downs.
But he's only got that effect because he's lowered his camera. He doesn't have the same wiggly railway lines when he raises up. And also those wiggly railway lines are distinct and you can see them. They don't disappear into the horizon with a train behind them.
I know, but I just wanted to show how stupid their counter argument is, rather than actually apply it as a credible rebuttal. I just want to laugh at it.
I just want to share something in the side chat. I'm going to paste something now. This is a comment. This is a message that I had on Facebook to me from Ian Mattison. Now, he's not actually a flat earther, but this is the message that he actually sent me. If anyone wants to read that out, Jose, you might read that because it's about you, actually.
Derailed soundly. Nice.
Someone read it out.
I can't read it, too small for me.
I hate it when somebody turns out to be correct, but I have to give it to Riley. You called it ages ago. Thankfully, Jose has managed to verify your assessment and finally debunked soundly. You could say Jose got the right track and derailed soundly.
There you go.
Nobody noticed that I misread it.
That's Riley. No, I called it ages ago.
Well, to be honest, that guy's been buried about 50 times. I mean, he's like a bloody apocalyptic alien. He keeps getting buried, but ballers still seem to think that in some way he's got he seems to be the only guy on the whole planet that can do things like get Earthshine on the eclipse and get curvature. I mean, no. If it was the case that it was curved, we would all be able to see it, and we would all realise it immediately.
So I'm guessing then that this evidence has already been presented on the first show.
What evidence?
It's just a professional forger.
No, the train tracks, because we saw them yesterday, didn't we?
Yeah, Ranty, you're about an hour behind.
Well, obviously, I've just walked in. That's what I'm saying. So obviously, has it been talked about on the first debate? That's what I was asking.
No, we were waiting for you, Ranty. Do you want to take us through it?
Nah.
Just nice not to have to believe the nonsense that these dumbasses have to. I honestly think that they're trolling us. I don't think that they actually believe it anymore.
Well, I believe I had a hangout, or what is it? One of those premieres done about me yesterday. Conspiracy Cats. I actually watched it live. I didn't say anything in the actual chat. I was just watching it, and it proves to me that we're actually winning. We are actually winning, and they can't handle it. To the point where they will obfuscate my points, lie about my points, misrepresent the points, don't talk about the evidence that's provided to them about compression, and renege back to the baller from last year, basically. And that's what happened yesterday. It was very embarrassing for the ball, but of course his supporters are all patting him on the back. But that one video that was done proves to me that we're actually winning this by a mile, because if they have to hide evidence, just like Miles Davis does when he crops out his photograph, if he has to hide the evidence and misrepresent the evidence and the work that's been done this year, then he's not credible. He's a fraud.
Yeah, that's all they've got. Texas sharpshooter, limit the scope of the view that people can see, change the angle that people are representing the view of, create AutoCAD drawings to say it should look like this. All they can do is cheat, swindle and deceive. We have the truth on our side. The earth is obviously and observably flat. All they can do is cheat. So people like Soundly are a poster child for the globe earth deception. He's a cheating, lying, swindling deceiver, and that is your poster child for the globe earth. It's pathetic, but it's true. That's what you've got. Liars and cheats backing this narrative. If it was true, you'd have people as pure and as angelic as they could be punting this narrative. Well, you do on mainstream TV. You've got people like Brian Cox and Neil deGrasse Tyson. Shiny, shiny faces that they have.
Yeah, so he was doubling down on his assertion that the boat went over the curve of the Earth, which it didn't, obviously. We know that. And he's deliberately missed out the most crucial point of the whole thing that we've worked on this year, which is the compression issue that I just haven't seen. Jose's seen. We've got Red Pill Philosophy that's been able to do it with his boats. We're all seeing this effect of compression in the very narrow viewing angle. And he conveniently decided not to talk about that. Now that is, you know, literally he's lying to his people, because at least when we discuss things on the show, we take their argument in its entirety and we go through it. Whereas what he did is he took a portion of the argument and just stuck to that without having the whole basis, all the evidence, and scrutinizing all the evidence in one thing. He just took a very small portion of something to try and make it fit his narrative. Very embarrassing for the ball.
They know they're losing.
Yeah, exactly.
They know, they don't recognize they're wrong, but they know it, they feel it, they're backed in a corner now, and they don't know what to do. They'll never give in. They even now start to publicly just say it out loud. It's a religious decision, but they have nowhere to go. We completely took the rug right underneath them.
Well, we know what sort of channel this Conspiracy Cats channel is going to be. It's going to be on the same lines of this Simon Dan. Whereas if you go back to people like Red's Rhetoric or Slice Barcane, at least, you know, they in some respects had a, you know, more of an interest in taking our entire argument and looking through it. Whereas these guys, they're a new breed of baller, and I think they're just playing up to their audience because they see that they are getting popular by means of YouTube or whatever, And they then think that they need to play up to the audience. And the best way they can do that is just to mock people and just tell them what they need to know without anything else. They don't need to go any further because they've got the whole body of science behind them. So this is the kind of people that we're dealing with. So, yeah, I'm probably never going to mention Conspiracy Cats ever again, simply because I don't want to give him the airspace. He doesn't deserve it. I thought he was going to be different. I thought he had an open mind when he first came onto the scene. I couldn't have been further from the truth.
I thought you'd be different. You're just like all the rest.
Yeah, that's the one, Nathan. You got it.
Yeah, Nathan, just present my screen if you would.
Yeah.
This is literally what's happening. All the ballers are queuing up because they want the reassuring lie. They don't want to know about the inconvenient truth. And that's why there's so many of them that are happy just to follow people like Simon Dan, Conspiracy Cats. Literally, I had an argument with Conspiracy Cats, or a discussion, debate, whatever you want to call it, to do with light refracting. And basically what he believes is that light is able... He was trying to explain the point that Rumpus and Phil... What was Phil's surname? Is it... Well, Philip Viner. Yeah. Philip, the physics master.
Philip
Weinberg, yeah, that's it. Philip Weinberg. We've been outstanding this document for 7, 8, 9 months. And what they're trying to work on is how they can get an inferior mirage to work on a ball. And basically, they need to show the reflection of the image above upside down below it. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, so there's a boat and it's miraging underneath itself and it's upside down underneath it. They've got to show how that can even happen on a sphere, because it can't. And it's took months and months and months, and they keep basically thinking and hoping that we've forgotten about it, but we don't. We remember it. And he's got to try.
Is difficult.
Yeah. He was trying to explain and argue how this can work on a sphere, and of course it can't, because if the horizon's only 3 miles away for the average 6-foot observer on the beach, then it means that anything beyond that 3 miles, really, according to their stupid model, it would be behind the horizon and starting to go over the curve, because that's what they tell us it is. But the problem is, you can't. When he goes into his orthographic view, that doesn't really help him, because it manifests the problem, and it basically shows him that he's got to argue the most bizarre way that light ever behaves in your entire life. And I had to point out to him, I said, Conspiracy Cats, this is not the way that light works. Light works in straight lines. It doesn't bend the way that you're drawing it. I said, if it did, you wouldn't be able to drive a car or fly a plane. You would never know what is the reality.
We know that. He's just what he is. He should change his name from Conspiracy Cats to Conspiracy Parrot, because that's all he is. He's a parrot. He went to school. Well, he went to school, and all he's doing now is just parroting what he's been told.
Yeah.
Just call him Conspiracy Cat Litter.
But he hasn't got an obligation in law to tell the truth in being a teacher. That's what I've learned recently. So he's able to do that. He's able to lie, and he's able to rely on the perception that they are one of the most trusted professions to explain away the bullshit that we're laughing at. And I'm gutted, really, that I kind of introduced him into Flat Earth, because you
introduced Simon Dan as well, actually.
I thought I didn't introduce Simon Dan. I don't know.
You did to the show.
Yeah, only because
when he only had like 50 subs.
Well, the thing is, these guys are basically pushing the reassuring lie, and it's interesting psychologically to see how many people are queuing up outside, and just basically, it's kind of like, you know, in like rural areas in the Middle East where they have the United Nations food convoy going in, and they have the car, and there's like sacks of grain on the back of it, and there's like hundreds of kids all like clutching at them with like hands because they're all starving. This is what the ballers are like. They're all the kids at the back of and the UN are all giving out grain. And that's what Simon Dan and Conspiracy Cats are doing, passing out the grain. And I'm sat there looking at it and thinking, you guys are absolutely stupid. But I can't understand how it's even working, because it's like, the only thing it must be is that they don't want to accept the reality of the world in which we live does not match their expectations, their claims, their models. It doesn't match it. So they've got to distort the jelly mold so badly that, I mean, if light did the way the things that these guys need it to do, you wouldn't be able to drive a car. I'm done, by the way.
You're done? You weren't presenting, by the way.
No, I mean, I'm done as in moaning.
Yeah, all right, okay. Did you manage to film anything up at St. Bees?
Nah, the weather's been average to poor all week. It's been dry, but it's just been really cloudy and dark and not a lot of light.
Full moon tomorrow. Oh, sorry, full moon tonight, actually. So maybe tomorrow there'll be better weather.
Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. So, is it worth going back over Miles the Liar Davis? Because he seems to be ignoring us still.
Well, what's to really say? I mean, you know,
Miles, we've debunked your claim, and we're waiting for how it is that your model that you claim is matching the observation that you make is not consistent with the angular size calculations that Adam presented. So either Adam's got his maths wrong, or his model that he used, the angular size calculator, is wrong, or you've done something wrong. And I'm going to call it that you guys are misrepresenting what you claim is what it's supposed to be on.
They don't care.
Because I'm pretty much certain
they really don't care.
I'm pretty much certain that Adam's got the input values correct on the applicator that he used. The angular size comes back out the other side. I'm happy that that's probably correct. And if I had to put my money on where I thought
Adam gave a disclaimer to us yesterday, Anthony.
I'm pretty certain it would be on your application of your model.
So Adam gave us a disclaimer yesterday, and he explained that when he was calculating how much hidden there should be, he's doing it per the calculator with each individual peak measured. And in actuality, you're not physically tilting your camera down more as the calculator makes you do when measuring to a different hill. You've got a fixed angle to whatever it is you're first in line with. Now, according to Miles Davis, that's the 2 posts. Well, if that's, you know, the top of the bridge, if that's what you're level with, that's the angle of the camera. Well, the curve calculator forces you to point the camera further down as you look further out. Well, he hasn't given them that. In other words, he's given them more leeway in their favour by using the calculation to do each individual peak and go with the fact that they say you'd be angling your camera more down to see that peak, even though that's physically impossible. He's got something in the near foreground, and that's obviously creating a single angle, not multiple angles to different peaks in different distances. But he's just done it as per the calculation. In other words, given it in their favour. But the bottom line, Anthony, is what he's done wrong is he's using feet and inches. He's not accounting for perspective. He's not making angular size measurements. He's just using the bare bones normal proof of nothing perspective hijacking curve calculation to misrepresent our world in an orthographic view and then tell us what his model says should or shouldn't be there. But he's completely ignored perspective, as they do. That's what the trick does.
Adam told me to give a plug for tonight's show on Iron Realm Media. It's Friday night, and obviously in the UK at about 11. Iron Realm Media are going live, and tonight's special guest,
Travis.
It is. So make sure you check out Iron Realm Media tonight at 11 PM, Great Greenwich Mean Time, because that's where Travis will be. Travis, what are you going to be talking about?
I'll be talking about the
I'll be there to watch it. Sorry, I was out of the room. What are you guys asking me?
What is it you're doing on Iron Realm Media? What are you talking about tonight?
I don't have an agenda. Zach and I have just been chatting, and he's like, "Hey, you want to come on the show on Friday?" I'm like, "I'm just a middle schooler. You guys are like college age. I don't belong there." So they just invited me to come. I was just going to go hang out. We'll talk about whatever, I suppose.
Cool.
Well,
have you been on Iron Realm before? The guys at Iron Realm are the best guys on earth. They're brilliant.
Oh yeah, no, I love listening to them. So yeah, it'll be good. I'll actually be driving, so I'm not sure how great the sound quality will be. We'll check it out.
Big shout out to our counterparts out on Iron Realm Media. I'll be watching tonight.
Big shout out to the 19 subscribers I got since yesterday. Boom. Thank you very much.
How many?
Yeah, 19 subscribers since yesterday. So wow. I'm up to 311 today. Yeah.
Excellent.
The first push I had for my channel was Jamie Brown. He did me a shout out. I don't know, it was 7-8 months ago. Probably a little over a year, I think. And yeah, it got me like maybe 25 subscribers, and I kept going up, hustling for subscribers little by little, one at a time. I'm up to 311. I'm thrilled and happy. I will get to 1,000 in 10 years.
You never know. You might get there before the end of the year. You don't know. Keep doing what you're doing.
I also want to give a bit of a shout out to and nobody. I know you guys might want to retract it, some of y'all, but I want to give a shout out to Tim Osmond. No, seriously, because like a couple of days ago, he had a live hangout going on, and I happened to stumble upon it. I went into the chat, and he saw me in there, and he called me out to come on to the show. And I think Pete Shea was in there and Louis Hackett, and I went in there, and it was pretty cool. It was obviously we had our back and forth, and didn't come out of it agreeing with each other on a lot of things, but it was a good hangout, and he wasn't this big troll guy that everybody said he was. So at least not with me anyway. We had a pretty decent talk, so I just want to give a shout out to him real quick. I mean, yeah, you guys can retract it if you want, but yeah.
Yeah, retracted.
No, but it was a good hangout. It was a good hangout.
Right, I've got a challenge.
I've got a bit of an announcement. Do you want to go first, or can I?
I'll make the announcement first.
Okay, go on.
We're gonna have a girl join the panel, right? So we need a placeholder to drop in the next 5 minutes or so, and I'll shout for when. And what I want is a dumbass baller to join the panel and basically discuss the shape of the Earth with her, and see if you can get your ass kicked by a girl. Because I'm pretty sure that you'll get your ass kicked.
Shout out for Rumpus. He's a dumbass baller.
Yeah, he's been kicked on, so he won't be able to join.
Oh, has he? Oh, damn it.
So one of the placeholders needs to drop in the next 5 minutes. We'll have a female. I don't know why you need to highlight that fact, but fair enough. Anyway, my announcement. So from now on, I will no longer accept CAD drawings from 90 degrees adjacent to any observation that is actually being analysed. If you are going to present a 90-degree adjacent view, it must be a photograph of a 90-degree adjacent view to the observation that's been taking place with the camera. So in the case of Miles Davis, who has only got an AutoCAD drawing with stickmen to offer of the mountain and his position, that will simply be automatically dismissed, as I did with Rumpus today. So I asked him a very straightforward question: does your example include an orthographic drawing? And it did. And it was automatically, and this will be the case going forward, automatically rejected on this panel. So if you are to say, this is what the world will look like, and present a CGI rendering with stickmen and a side profile of what the camera actually took, I will automatically reject it. Because this is the undoing of the globe deception when it comes to representation of what they say is Earth curve as you look out into the distance. It's not Earth curve. It's perspective causing the things to disappear from the bottom up due to a limited viewing angle. And from now on, when people say we should see it all because look at my side profile, I will make it clear. I haven't got anything to compare this to other than your representation in a CAD program of the side of my head taking the picture and the side of the mountain I'm looking at. Well, I'm not looking at the side of the mountain. I'm definitely not taking a picture of the side of my own head when I look through a camera lens, and I'm not interested in this misrepresentation anymore. It is the magic trick to remove yourself from the actual observation, put yourself 90 degrees adjacent so that everything maintains actual sizes, which is precisely what they use in their calculations. Actual sizes.
What it also kind of does is make, if you incorporate an actual viewing function, what it does is makes a perfect parallel view. So the viewer is basically everywhere from that side at the same point. But that's not, you can't use that system for what happens at a distance. You just can't, it doesn't work. It's not designed to do that. It's a specification drawing. It's for actual sizes, for Yeah, for designing. It's not meant, that entire type of view is not meant for figuring out views. It's not what it was designed for ever. It's a design concept.
Right, these side-on views are not representative of reality, as Arwin puts it. These views are not performing viewing functionality. They're taking only into account the actual sizes of things in terms of their full feet and inches, which remains the same at any distance. And in reality, we see things with an angular relation to things. Going out further into the distance, they will have a smaller angle. As you look down lower towards something, it has a lower angle as well. This causes the bottom-up obstruction that until now is claimed with a misrepresentation from side elevation, saying what flat earthers should see, that the obstruction is caused by earth curve. It isn't. It absolutely never was, and we never see any actual curvature. It's only this effect of things becoming obscured from the bottom up, which has been hijacked and called curvature, whilst the actual cause is removed by putting it into a side elevation view. This is what debunks Miles Davis, despite his 20 attempts to put out the same exact garbage that's debunked 6 months ago. We're not going to tolerate it anymore.
Yeah, he's definitely milked that one image. I think he's done about 22, 23 videos on it in the space of 2 weeks.
Yeah, and it's just based on a misrepresentation of what he says we claim the Earth is. Well, we don't claim that you see the world from side on, getting a view of the side of your own head. We see what we see on screen now, through your eyeballs. You can't see the side of Ranty's head while he's taking this picture, but every single time they try and misrepresent our side of the argument, they'll show this picture and then show you a side of Ranty with a line drawn from his eyeballs to whatever he's looking at. Not the view that he's actually getting, which absolutely categorically includes perspective. Everything in this picture can be described and detailed using the angular relationships between everything on page. None of the actual sizes make any real difference. Who cares that the thing on that horizon, where I'm going to draw my mouse for the audience only, I can get the damn thing up. There we go. So the thing in this distance might be a 10-foot wall, but who cares? The fact that it's a 10-foot wall at this distance means nothing. The angular size of it is going to be absolutely tiny by comparison to the angular size of this, even though this is a 30, 40, 50 feet item and there's a 10-foot wall on the horizon. What describes that is perspective, the angular relation between things. And you remove that entirely when you go into a side profile view of things. It maintains actual sizes.
It's, you know what? You can still use it to describe in small a setup to give an overview of things. But when it comes to actual viewing, no. You can't use it for that. You have to approach it from a perspective-based view system that incorporates all the elements that are naturally present, like obstruction, like the refraction, all these things. You can't really model that out. You can represent it on on such a diagram to help you imagine the process, as it were. But you can't use it directly for viewing. It's as simple as that.
Right, let's let me ask physics. Is physics here?
Sorry, I missed that. Say that again.
I'm just seeing if physics is here. Is he placeholding? If he's placeholding, I was going to ask him, would he mind stepping aside so we can get...
Sure, I'm here. Let me know when.
Well, now would be good. She's
right. Ready
to join in. And what I was going to do is invite, what's his face, Zinda. Are you there?
Good. All right.
Thank you very much.
Jumping off the plane.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, physics.
Don't forget a parachute.
Now, hopefully, Zinda, are you there? Zinda's one of the more polite spoken guys. Hopefully he's not AWOL.
Probably getting lunch.
And just to address Nathan's attempted slur, I mentioned a female because nobody wants to get battered by a girl. So let's see if Zinda can have a conversation.
Hold on, Roxanne, is that really you?
Hey, Roxanne.
Yeah, it is.
Please.
Hello. Yeah, it's me.
Good to have
Hi.
you. Hello, hello.
So what we'll try and do is we'll try and have a conversation, ideally with Zinda. Are you there, Zinda?
Very wise, Zinda. Very wise.
I am having a sandwich. I'll be back very shortly.
Is that what he last said?
No, I'm just making that up. Hi, Roxanne. Good to see you around.
You too.
We can chat amongst ourselves till Zinda pipes up. If we mention him enough, I'm sure he'll go, oh, I was just in the kitchen getting a cup of tea. Or whatever.
Yeah. Because what we'll try and do is we'll try and get a conversation going where I'll just poke the bear a little bit and I'll say, Zinda thinks we live in a ball. And then I'll say, Roxanne, kill. And then see what happens. Because obviously the reason why this is interesting is because Roxanne does it on the street, whereas we do it without the worry of getting stabbed. So it'll just be interesting to see what happens in the not real world for Zinda.
Well, Dawn Treader wants to come in, so maybe if we can make space for Dawn Treader.
Oh my god, it's a long time.
Someone kick Arwen.
Anybody willing to drop for Dawn? See how well liked Dawn is. We're about to find out, Dawn.
I'll drop.
I'll drop. No, I'll drop.
Good for you. So Plain Truth's dropping. Hopefully we'll get Dawn.
Yeah,
in.
kick Zinda because he's AWOL.
Right, sorry, Zinder, nothing personal.
Oh, don't worry, Plain Truth. Don't go anywhere.
Hi, Roxanne.
Hello, darling. How are you?
Yeah, not so bad. I'm nipping out in a minute though, so I'll probably watch this back.
All right.
Hope you're gonna put up a good fight.
I'm starting to feel like I came into a room that I didn't realise was a boxing ring today. No, I'm only joking.
Yeah, no pressure. No, it's all good. It's gonna be a discussion.
Oh, goody.
Oh,
hey,
Back for more?
I thought we were gonna get Dawn Treader's a decent bloke. Now we have Rumpus instead.
Right, so.
So, Roxanne, we have the wiggly worm at the bottom of the pond known as Rumpus. He doesn't understand anything to do with maths or real
Well, you know what they say about the early bird?
Catches the worm.
But this is going to be moderated. We're going to let Roxanne and the Rumpus talk about. Now, if the Rumpus want to obfuscate and keep talking over each other, then some people...
I only ever talk when I'm interrupted.
Nobody interrupted.
I think it has to be like...
I haven't talked yet.
I'm not sure that Rumpus...
You should maybe have a...
Wait,
listen, maybe you should have a minute each. A minute
I haven't
each
popped my
without
popcorn yet.
interruption. That would be cool.
Rumpus,
Right,
you have to agree that you're going to be nice.
I'm always nice. I only get obnoxious when I'm interrupted by Nathan or you.
Roxanne, Rumpus thinks we live on a ball. Do you want to have a conversation with him about his nonsensical belief?
Come on.
Why do you think we live on a ball, Rumpus?
Because all of the evidence points that to be the case, and it
What
contradicts.
evidence is that?
Hold on, I was in the middle of a sentence there, and all of the evidence contradicts the flat Earth.
Right. And do you want to
Maybe a bit
read off some of your evidence?
Arwen. Let Roxanne handle Rumpus.
Two voices, Roxanne and Rumpus. We don't going to hear nobody else. Okay, thank you. All on mute.
So, what evidence do you have for me that we live on a ball, Rumpus?
Well, simple ones like the sunset and sunrise, obviously convincing evidence. The position of Polaris, the fact that you can see the curve. If you for instance, go top of a mountain and you take a theodolite view.
I can probably just stop.
Hold on, you
right
interrupted
there.
me.
But I'm not going to sit there.
I was going to give you two more, and then I was going to stop. You're interrupting me. 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 I was speaking and you interrupted me. I didn't interrupt you.
Yeah, but you're waffling. I'm not going to sit here and entertain waffle.
You're interrupting me again. You're interrupting me. Have some manners. You're interrupting me.
So should you, sweetheart. You should have some manners and stop insulting people's intelligence.
You're interrupting me again. I didn't interrupt you. So I made 2 points, and then I was going to make 2 more just to give you a set to play with. And the other one was observing the horizon, say from a hill using a theodolite, the position of Polaris, boats going below the water, and the sun going below the water. That'll do then. Okay, now it's your turn. See how it works?
Well, I think it's, up for debate on whether that was evidence or not, to be honest with you. I wouldn't class that as evidence for a ball.
The fact the sun goes below the horizon, where this is impossible on a flat Earth.
I wouldn't agree that the sun goes below the horizon in the first
We can see half of it.
The choice of words is naff, for one.
We
But
can
I'll
see
start
half of
again.
it.
Let's start again and make it really simple, okay? Let's pretend I'm 5, okay? Now,
Well, you sound like you are.
what is your proof and evidence for living on a spinning ball flying through space.
Okay,
Put it in real simple terms that are measurably provable, because what you just came out with was absolute shit.
Was absolute mega proof, yes. Now you've moved on. I see you've dodged. You haven't answered my point. All you've done is now moving on to a spinning ball moving through space. So you've actually moved. You've deflected here. You didn't answer my point, and you're now making another. You're now talking about spinning balls and moving through space. So why did you dodge like the 4 points that I made? It's like because you're frightened of engaging with the argument.
I'm not going to go over old ground. I know that you.
What? Like is 1 + 1 = 2 old ground? Don't you like the fact that reality? You're not engaging with the argument, are you?
You're just rumpusing now, Rumpus. You're not having a two-way conversation anymore.
She's moved on the argument.
Fresh arguments, like he's coming with stuff that we've got. Like, if this guy's not going to give me new, fresh arguments, I'm not going to entertain it. Sorry.
What? So you don't let them inconvenient for you? Okay.
Regularly, yeah.
You're inconvenient. I know they're inconvenient for you.
So.
Well, I know you don't like gold honors because they invalidate your position. So of course you want to go on to another argument. I'm prepared to go anywhere.
I beg to differ.
Well, if you don't understand that when you see the sun only half visible, that's obscured by the earth, there is no possibility on a flat earth for the sun to do that. You can only have that on a sphere. So, and I know you want to move on from that argument because it invalidates your position. So you want to move on to another argument. Okay, well, I mean, but just as long as we all realize what you're doing, you don't like to engage with arguments that invalidate your position. So I'm happy to discuss any of the arguments. If you accept that one you can't cope with, then we'll talk about Polaris and the fact that when you go down a line of longitude, that the angle every 69 miles goes down by 1 degree. That's only possible on a spherical shape, not on a flat shape. Let's try that one. See if you can deflect from that one.
You don't want evidence, darling. You're just giving.
That is ever. Hold on. You telling me that doesn't happen? Then you telling me that as I move down a line of longitude every 69 miles. That these Polaris angle to Polaris and horizontal doesn't change by 1 degree. Are you disputing that?
Sorry, Rumpus, what she asked was evidence that you live on a spinning ball flying through space, and you're telling her about.
Well, that's what she changed it to.
I hadn't finished my sentence, Rumpus. I was clarifying for you. It's okay, you don't need to interrupt me.
Well, hold on, this is supposed to be between me and her.
Let's shut Rumpus up with the Rumpus button. This is why he gets muted. So, I got about 4 seconds before Rumpus decided that it was his turn to speak still. Rumpus. She asked you for evidence that we live on a spinning ball flying through space, and you're telling her about Polaris moving through the sky. That is
I'm happy to do that, Nathan, but that
you're
wasn't
still talking. So, are you actually going to provide her with evidence that we are on a spinning ball flying through space, or not?
That was not the initial. I will, but that's not been the initial argument. I was asked why I thought we were on a sphere, and then she changed it when I invalidated that position. I gave her proof why we're on a spherical Earth, and then she changed.
No, he didn't. So that's why I've had to clarify with you that you didn't give evidence. You've talked about Polaris. That does not in any way, shape or form suggest that we're on a spinning sphere, other than you asserting that it only works on a sphere. So you are going to be using a formal logical fallacy known as affirming the consequent. If we travel to the southern hemisphere, then you will see southern rotation, right, Rumpus?
Interrupt. The only thing you can do is to interrupt and interrupt my answers. We started off with a question. I was asked, what have I got proof for a spherical Earth? Then she didn't like the answer to the invalidated position. Then we moved on to spinning Earth and whether or not we're going through space. Those are 2 other issues. Now, if she wants to move the goalposts around, that's happy. But just as long as we realise that's what she's doing because she doesn't like to be invalidated.
No goalpost moving going on whatsoever. She's asked you a direct question about prove you're on a bloody Earth that's sphere-shaped. That's the question. It's fairly straightforward.
You're over talking one another. I can't hear either.
I think Rumpus likes making claims. He doesn't like giving evidence.
Oh, I do want to give evidence. I'm absolutely dead keen on giving evidence.
Rule is.
So which subject do you want to talk about?
Indoctrinate you for.
So hold on. So which evidence do you want? Do you want evidence for a spherical Earth? Do you want evidence for moving through space? Or do you want evidence with spinning? Which one of those 3 do you want to talk about?
Evidence for a spinning ball flying through space. Go on.
Right, so you want to go off the subject to the spherical Earth. Okay, but I'm happy with that. I'm happy to discuss any of these things. If you want to move off the spherical Earth, that's fine. Right, okay, so we're now talking about whether the Earth is spinning or not. Right, so we can detect this by looking at the Doppler effect on the cosmic wave background radiation. As the Earth rotates, it actually causes the light from the cosmic wave microwave background radiation to become bluer or higher in frequency with in the direction we're looking at, and lower in the direction we're moving away. Additionally, Foucault's pendulum obviously is perfect proof that we're
just one at a time, Rumpus. Bear with me before you scattergun. So, Do you want to address that, Roxanne? According to Rumpus.
Is that what you said to a 5-year-old? Because I asked him how he would say it to a 5-year-old.
Well, okay, so you're a bit stupid for me. Okay, so I've got to try and dumb it down. Then. Do you know what the Doppler effect is? Do you know what the Doppler effect is? Do you know what the Doppler effect is?
I asked you to give it to me as if I'm 5, and you started.
Well, yeah, no, okay. Well, some 5-year-olds understand what the Doppler effect is. I
have a very question.
Do you understand what the Doppler effect is?
I asked you to explain it as if I was 5. So why?
Well, when I was 5, I understood what the Doppler effect is. Do you?
No.
Now you're asking a question. You're answering a question.
You're not okay. You're a stupid 5-year-old.
I kept it really simple. And
do you understand what the Doppler effect is? Then we can base it on that, or do you want to go simpler?
I actually think if we did live on a spinning ball flying through space, this guy would have shut me down in 5 seconds.
Do you understand what the Doppler effect is, or are you not that stupid? You're too stupid.
I don't is actually irrelevant at this point.
No, because it's part of the evidence. So we can use the Doppler effect as evidence for the fact we're moving through space. But I need to know whether you understand that.
Sorry, why? Why would the Doppler
I mean,
effect that you've described...
move on to another thing. I mean, if you're too stupid to understand the
One side of the star heavens always more
Arwin.
Would it really calm you down if you knew that I knew what it was? Would it?
Well, I'm happy. I mean, if you want to tell me you're too stupid to understand what the Doppler effect is, we'll move on from there. But if you were saying you do understand, it will help.
By your concerns, I know what the Doppler effect is, okay?
Excellent. Excellent. So you do know what Doppler effect. Brilliant. Excellent.
As if we're in preschool, okay?
Right. So okay. Well, we don't. Why do you have to dumb it down to 5-year-old? And why can't we discuss it as a? I can treat you as at least a teenager. Why can't I treat you as a teenager level?
What I speak to out on the roads.
Well, you're not talking to. Why do you want me to treat you like a 5-year-old?
Rumpus, because it's a belief.
Why do you? I'm trying to provide you with scientific evidence.
This is not scientific evidence, right?
I'm trying to provide you with scientific evidence.
Right, hold on a second, Roxanne. Hold on a second. Hold on, Rumpus. Nothing that Rumpus has provided thus far is scientific evidence.
I haven't been allowed. Well, she doesn't want to use. I mean, I'm now a bit confused whether she's prepared to accept Doppler. Are you prepared to accept evidence based around the Doppler effect? Can I talk to you on that level?
I hear what it is. Let's hear what it is. What it is.
So, right. Okay. So you do understand what Doppler. For the benefit. Do you want me to give the answer or not? Christ. Right. So if we can talk about the Doppler effect, then
Rumpus, she's trying to answer you, but you just keep talking and cutting her off.
I'm trying to do what she asked, which is
no, she's still talking, Rumpus. Rumpus, you gave her about 3 seconds.
I'm being prevented from giving the evidence.
Rumpus, you haven't let her finish.
Stop being so damn impatient, man.
Arwin, you're not helping. Rumpus, you need to let her actually finish what she's saying.
She asked me for the evidence. I'm trying to provide
Yeah, you're doing it again. You're talking. That means shut up.
Okay, she can have a go there. Okay, it's her turn.
Just because I'm going to let you say it doesn't mean I'm going to accept it. So don't assume acceptance. Just you're saying it. That's
okay. That's what we want to say. Right, great. So we understand what the Doppler effect is. That is, even 5-year-olds understand that when you get something like a police car coming towards you, that the frequency of the noise of the car increases, of the siren increases, and as it goes away, it goes down. So as it goes past you, it goes, raises up in pitch and then goes down. So that's the Doppler effect. Very simple. And we get the same effect with the rotating Earth. When we make observations in one direction or another, we can see that, for instance, the cosmic wave microwave background. Do you know what the cosmic microwave background radiation is?
There's a lot of questions that you've got for an answer.
Well, I need to know how stupid you are. So do you understand what the cosmic wave microwave background radiation is?
No, I'm not sure how much more of this conversation I'm willing to entertain.
Well, do you understand what the cosmic microwave background radiation is?
I want to retract what you just said.
I missed what you're saying.
Insinuating that I'm stupid.
Well, okay, I'm asking you. I try and pitch my answers to the level of the person I'm dealing with. So if you knew what the cosmic
derogatory
is, don't know what it is, I'll have to explain it.
Questions, and you're being rude while you're doing it.
I'm trying to pitch my answers to your intellectual level, so I need to know whether you know what the cosmic microwave background radiation is.
It'll be a claim.
That's fine.
It'll be a claim.
Well, no. Do you know what it is, though? Just tell me yes or no.
Okay, Rumpus, yes.
Great. Right, so I'll just explain, just in case for other people, cosmic wave microwave background radiation is the remains of the Big Bang that's all around us in the universe. So as the Earth is rotating, that means we're moving, we're spinning with respect to that. So that means that we can see that the pointing along the axis of the rotation, we're pointing along the direction of rotation.
Sorry, aren't we supposed to be trying to prove? Hold on, stop.
Stop. Jesus Christ.
Stop.
So you didn't like me being invalidated. Well done, Nathan. Good.
Aren't you supposed to be trying to prove rotation as opposed to? Yeah, I'm going to interrupt you because you're supposed to be proving rotation, not presupposing it.
I'm trying to provide you with scientific evidence, but
this is definitely not scientific evidence. I'll say it again. You're supposed to be proving rotation, not presupposing it.
I am proving it. And if
no,
you
you're
let me
not.
finish my bloody sentence,
You just
I will.
presupposed
So,
it.
oh, Jesus.
You said if the Earth is a rotating sphere. You presupposed your outcome.
I'm trying to give you the evidence. Right, so
you've just given us the evidence. I listened. And what you did was subtly presuppose your outcome. What you did, Rumpus, is beg the question.
You can only ever mute. You can never cope.
I'm not muting you, stupid idiot. I'm not muting you. I'm telling you that you're begging the question.
I know you want to deny reality. I know you want to deny science. And you've got to, and the only thing you can do is interrupt.
You're not getting muted.
I'm trying to give an answer here, and you interrupted me.
I'm not asking you anything. I am telling you that you are begging the question.
I'm not.
So
here we go. We can observe it, Nathan. We can observe
what?
Cosmic microwave background radiation.
Yes, we can observe the microwave background radiation. That's not Earth's spin, though, is it, you dumbass?
Hold on. We can observe it, Nathan.
Yes, the microwave background radiation can be observed. That's not Earth's spin, you dumbass.
No, I haven't got there yet. You've interrupted.
What do you mean you haven't got there? I heard you presuppose it. I heard you say if the Earth is spinning.
I haven't presupposed anything. I'm giving you the evidence that exists, which is the existence of the Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
I'm trying to give you. I haven't been able to give you the argument yet.
Yeah, all he's going to do now is keep saying that he's trying to give us the argument and we're interrupting him. No, he's given us the argument and I've ripped it a new asshole. What Rumpus has done is beg the question and automatically assumed that the Earth is... And he will talk over me every single time. Thank you for muting him, Anthony. Yes, he will talk over me every single time I point out his logical fallacy. He presupposed his outcome and inserted his presupposition that the Earth was turning in his explanation. Now he's telling the audience that we're stopping him giving the explanation. He's already given it. It comes with a presupposition that the Earth is spinning.
I only need 20 seconds to finish this answer, and then I'll hand it over to you.
Background really is, okay?
Right.
The universe is cosmic. You need to just scrap it, okay? You can't prove anything that you're saying, mate.
I can because you can observe it.
What's worse is that you're wasting time.
No, I'm not. I'm being interrupted. What I'm being. I would have finished this 20.
Stop doing cocaine, Rumpus. Be
quiet. I would have finished it in 20 seconds, but I keep on being interrupted. We observe this cosmic microwave background radiation. It's a fact.
You can't prove what it is.
We don't need to. We don't need to for my explanation. If you waited for the second part of my explanation, you would realise I do not need to know where it came from. Okay? So you're presuming something. Right, so here we go. So we observe this cosmic microwave background radiation. It's a fact. It's observable. It's there. So, but what we do see is that in the direction of the rotation of the Earth...
There it is, you stupid idiot. You have just presupposed that we are spinning, you stupid idiot.
No, you don't like me.
Shut this nutter down.
No,
you stupid man. You stupid idiot. That is called a presupposition. You didn't prove anything. You told us that we observed microwave background radiation and then told us that the Earth is spinning. You absolute fool.
You have to interrupt, don't you, Nathan? You have to interrupt.
I didn't interrupt. I pointed out your logical fallacy, you stupid idiot.
Nothing like a good rumpus in the afternoon.
5 seconds into that sentence and you interrupted me because you can't cope with the...
Yeah, I interrupted at the point that you presupposed the Earth was turning, you stupid man.
And I'm giving you an answer, and I'm giving you my position, so I can require...
Yeah, you gave us your position. Your position came with the presupposition that Earth is rotating.
And I will then let you reply without interrupting you. But I need 5 seconds to...
You don't need anything. What you need to do is presuppose that we're turning. Your argument comes with the presupposition that we're turning. That's why I've interrupted you. I will shut you down. You're not going to beg the question here. What part of an idiot are you? Don't you understand the rules? You don't get to presuppose your outcome and just say it's because the Earth's turning, you stupid idiot.
Turns.
Glorious
Let's see if we
confusion
can
of
take
Rumpus.
turns, Nathan. How about that as an idea? And I'll get
This
5
will be
seconds, and then you
nostalgic
can have a
later
go.
Right, Arwen.
So I've got 5
Arwen,
seconds
shut up.
to go here.
There's any bets
I'm
on
going to finish in 5 seconds, and then you get it go, and I'll shut up. I will shut up if I'm allowed to finish my sentence.
Go on, let's all just go for it. Go
I
on.
wish to finish my sentence, and then I will hand over to you.
Go on,
So
fire away. Fire away.
Right, so if
Go
I
for
can just right, so if I just right, so here we go. So as a result, we can see this observed microwave background radiation, and we notice that in the direction of rotation of the Earth, we can see that the Doppler
That's
effect.
begging the question. How many bloody times do I have to tell this absolute retard not to beg the question here? How many times have I got to tell you? Are you really this stupid?
That's the only thing you can do, isn't it, Nathan, to interrupt.
Yeah,
So
when you beg the question, all you can do is beg the question, you stupid idiot.
So we see the Doppler effect acting upon the cosmic microwave background radiation, and that tells us that the Earth is rotating because
No, it doesn't.
we see the Doppler effect.
Doesn't
Right,
tell
so
us
I
anything.
finished now, and now you can respond.
It doesn't tell you anything. You're just assuming that the Earth rotates, you stupid buffoon. I've pointed it out to you 4 times.
The Doppler effect says that we're moving towards in different directions.
I have a very relevant direct question. I've
So I
been
had
sitting
20
on it for over 20
You hadn't
minutes.
interrupted me. I'd have finished that 20-second explanation, but you insisted on interrupting me.
Yeah, and it was useless. All it did was beg the question. All you did was assume that it was caused by Earth turn. You didn't prove Earth turn. You said that we can observe background radiation. Yes, we can. Then you inserted a presupposition that the cause was Earth turn. You proved nothing. You're an idiot.
Let's see what I have a very relevant direct question,
You
Rumpus,
get
please.
different Doppler effects. The only way to account for that is the rotation.
Right, let's see what Roxanne says to respond.
It's the only
Right.
way to account for it.
Can you just for the viewers and everyone's sake, can you give us some proof of what the cosmic microwave background actually is?
You don't
Just
need
right
to
now.
know that. All you need to know that is it exists.
Where's it come from?
You're asking me to believe. You're asking me to believe,
Well, I
right?
can give you
I just need to believe you right now.
Right.
So no evidence, just beliefs.
Oh, okay, I'll go respond to that if I can. If you finish,
Fire
can I
away
respond?
on all
Can I
cylinders,
respond?
as I know you will, Rumpus. Go for it.
Okay, thanks. Thank you very much.
Rev-
Thank you.
Go on.
Right. So if we have an object in the distance all around us in the universe, we don't need to know what it is. We just need to know
Sorry,
that
did
it's
you just
there.
say all around us in the universe? You begging the question, total retard. How many times do you think you're going to slip it past me? I'll tell you how many times you'll slip it past me, you stupid moron. You will never slip your begging the question past me, you absolute
I was about
retard.
5 seconds into that.
Yeah, it took you 5 seconds to beg the question.
No, it's no begging. That's the point, Nathan. I wasn't begging it because you.
Yes, you were, you stupid little man. You pathetic little weasel. You think you're going to slip it past me, do you? You think you're smarter than me, do you, retard? You will never get to beg the question here.
Microwave
You will
background
never
radiation.
get to beg the question,
I did not
Rumpus.
ascribe any source to it except to my initial answer. I'm just saying that there, around us we observe.
Around us? What part of a retard are you? Do you think you're going to slip this by me by just saying around us? Around? What, spherically all around us? We're going to assume that it's spherically all around us, are we? You complete idiot!
I believe in taking turns, do you, Nathan? You can't cope with being invalidated.
You're not being invalidated, you're being fallacious. You're saying all around us. So we're automatically assuming that this shit is all around us. That is called begging the question.
You do science denier and you can only interrupt.
Oh, here we go. So now I'm a science denier. No, dickhead. You are a fallacious idiot who thinks that by saying it's all around us right at the beginning of your example, that you're going to slip it by me. Is that what you think, you moron?
All directions into...
Right, guys, stop. Right, let's hear a response from Roxanne, and Rumpus respond to what she says.
I was in the middle of giving her a response.
No, you were in the middle of begging the question, telling us how this stuff's all around us, right, Rumpus? We're automatically assuming it's all around us, are we? Rumpus, I want an answer. Are we automatically assuming this stuff is, as you put it, all around us?
Yes, the cosmic wave...
So we are absolutely going to be begging the question in this example, then, you complete and utter moron.
Nathan.
That's big Ray.
Question, bum.
It's
Question
all from. If we look out into space from any position on Earth, we see the cosmic microwave background.
Any position on Earth, and would that be a sphere that we're looking from?
What is it? What is it, Rumpus? What is it? What is it? What is it? Tell us. Put me out of my misery and tell me what that background is.
Tell me when you're finished. So I can,
Are you hearing me clear and concise? Hear me good and hear me clear.
Are you going to waffle on, or are you going to stop?
Oh, wow, you're calling me a waffler.
I know you can't cope with scientific.
You're going to let her give a response, Rumpus?
Well, she keeps on waffling on. Right, okay, she wants a response. So you just go waffle.
Rumpus, shut up.
I'm supposed to be answering her question. She asked me to answer her question, and now she's interrupting me.
Rumpus.
Well, okay.
Slow. Said it real slow. What is it?
Go.
Right. Right, so the cosmic wave microwave background radiation we believe to be the result of the Big Bang, but that's not required.
Remove that word out of your sentence.
You interrupted me. I didn't interrupt you.
No, the question is proven you use the word believe, so take that bit out of your sentence and start again. I'm going to give you one more go.
You interrupted my answer. You interrupted my answer again. Can I not cope? Is this your tactic as well? Is you and Nathan?
Proof.
You just
evidence. You said
you interrupted my answer.
To believe something that your class is evidence.
To your question.
Give me evidence. Start again. I'm going to give you one more try.
To interrupt.
Okay. For your sake, let's start fresh because you started that wrong. You used the word believe. I want evidence.
Yes.
Tell me what the cosmic microwave background actually is. Tell me what it is.
Right.
Don't use the word believe. Yeah.
Well,
or
everything. We
don't ask me to imagine anything.
We can't prove.
So there you go. Done. Finished. Boom. You can't. Right. On to the next.
Right. So you don't. Well, that means you don't.
You just said you can't prove. You can't give me evidence. That's it. That's called taking a loss.
Just for the audience's benefit, literally Rumpus isn't letting her get her word in edgeways. He is constantly talking while she tries to make her point, which he won't let her do because he's constantly talking.
It's called taking control of your waffle. Viewers and Nathan and everyone on the panel, you heard him say it. Rewind it if you want, put it in a clip. You just heard him say, quote, and I quote, I can't prove it.
Right, listen, I've kicked him because Dawn wants to join, and hopefully there'll be a better conversation because Rumpus is not the right person to have a conversation with. Yeah. Sorry, Rumpus, you need to allow people to speak.
In conclusion, all Rumpus did was beg the question and assume his outcome.
Oh, goody, another one.
Hey,
Roxanne has sex with Nick.
Somebody kick P Mars out.
The fuck is wrong with you,
Pete?
No
Trash.
swearing, please. No
Get
swearing.
out.
Go kill yourself. You
No
fuck.
swearing.
No, don't do that. But I kicked
no
him.
need for that.
No, he's a piece of shit.
No need.
Right, but I.
Hey Dawn, how you doing? Can you hear us, Dawn?
Is it you, Dawn?
Check.
Yeah, give me a second. It might be him.
Yeah, I think.
Oh,
Hi everyone.
Got snipers kicking everybody out.
Wait a moment.
Marvelous.
I'm Cinder. Sorry, I joined with.
I think I'll probably round the show out as we get sniped to all hell. So, I'm going to say first and foremost, a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the debating panel for making this debate possible. And of course, a massive thank you to all of the live audience for tuning in and hopefully sharing this debate. If you hated the show, then smash that dislike button twice. If you liked it, maybe consider sharing it with a friend or subscribing if you have not done so already. I've been Nathan Oakley and I'll see you all in the next video. One more thing. If you missed the first show, you can actually catch it on a replay on my second channel, which is Nathan Oakley. That goes out round about now. So check out that. I'll put a link in the chat box so you can go straight to it and continue chatting. Once again, I've been Nathan Oakley and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
You know if Nathan's coming, is Nathan coming back on, or is that it, you reckon?
Show is over. Got sniped. It's alright.
Did we get kicked?
Mm-hmm.
So it was a false dawn or what?
Don't know.
Fucking snipers.
Disgusting.
Such despicable behaviour.
Are you going to start a new episode, Nathan?
No, that's it.
Is Roxanne still around, or because I've heard she wants to talk or convince something, and I wasn't there, so Arvin kicked me. I was listening through Bluetooth headphones, yet I couldn't answer.
Thanks a lot for that, Zinder. Thanks, we appreciate that.
I'll have to come on next time Roxanne comes on, Nathan.
All right, then it's no problem. I thought if she's just interested right now, I could contact her. Otherwise, I don't really care.
Yeah, P.
Hey, Don.
Hello.
Hello. I thought you were going to take a step back.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Not with Rumpus. I'm sure I said that to you.
Yeah, Rumpus is the wrong guy. I was hoping Dawn would have got in, but that Mike got in and sniped everyone.
Bastard.
Yeah, I saw Dawn come in, but Mike came in at the exact same time, so it was like Dawn and Mike overlapped each other when he came in.
Well,
So
he can still hear you. I've got you obviously on Skype, but I'm still connected to the Hangout with all the sniping going on. So I'm interested to see what
I'm
happens.
here. There was a few people left. They weren't all sniped.
No. Whoever was sniping has obviously given up.
Yeah, it was that Mike guy, wasn't it? So can Sean hear, Dawn hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello.
Oh, sorry, Dawn. I didn't realise. Well, I didn't spot that Mike coming in.
All right now.
So Dawn, you've only come in because Roxanne's joined, haven't you, Paul? Fucking hell, Dawn.
Yeah. I wanted to talk to her, but I just don't mind talking to you guys. I haven't been on in ages.
I know. You've been one of those pricks that's rebelling against the show, aren't you? Because they don't want it to be popular, but there's like more and more viewers. It's not working.
I can't stop it, dude. Your arguments are getting tighter as well. People ain't got a chance when they come on.
Well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to drop from this call because, to be honest, Dawn, if you're not going to support the show by providing some opposition, there's no point talking to you after the show.
Okay.
Seems
I'll
fair to me.
come on next time, dude.
Yeah, you do that.
All right.
Bring some evidence with you as well. Right, what I'm going to do... yeah, Nathan, really, we shouldn't have let Rumpus do what he was doing because Rumpus is an arsehole. He was so... I said right at the start that he's probably not the right person to have a conversation.
Yeah. I'm here now, but yet it is too late. I couldn't
I know,
answer
but,
before.
like, Cinder was away and Dawn were trying to get in but couldn't get in and because we were full. Would have been better just kicking Rumpus right at the start on that occasion because he's a tit.
So does she do it often? Like talk to people on a hangout? because as I
He does
heard,
it all the
she
time.
usually does it on the street, right?
Can Zinda hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, this isn't going to work, right? Well, Nathan, do me a favour, drop out this call because it's not going to work cross platforms.
Why not? You can hear Zinda. Zinda can hear you.
I can't hear Zinda properly though. He's coming through your mic. He's not coming through the sound.
Yeah, he is.
Ah, okay.
He's not. He's coming through your mic.
Sure.
Yeah. He's not coming through the sound. Through your computer sound.
Well,
give me 2 seconds.
Okay.
I have to say you sound worse than usually, Anthony. Which thinks it confirms what you think.
Yeah, now I can hear him.
Right, that's because stupid Skype app. When you call me, it rings on the Skype app, and when I call you, it rings in the Skype software. Stupid thing.
So, are we being? Is this recording now, then, Nathan?
Yeah, this is now the after show. It's not live though.
Yeah, I know it's not live. Right, well, let's have a conversation. Let's see how Zinda fares. Well, I tell you what, let's go with Dawn because I haven't heard from Dawn for a long time. Dawn, Shredder, are you still there?
Yeah, we've already gone through it though, us guys, haven't we?
At this point, I'm going to have to try out because my kids are literally about to just arrive back from home. So I've run out of time. And I'm sorry.
Can I talk to you another time?
No, mummy mode is about to call big time.
All right, no worries.
Thank you for joining though. You did really well. Sorry Rumpus was your first challenger.
No worries, no worries. Cheers for that, Nathan. No, it's all good. And thanks for having me. And I'll come back again. I'll just time it a little bit better next time.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
See you later.
Bye.
I don't think she did badly.
Well, she couldn't get a word in, but the points that she made were better than the points that Rumpus made because she pointed out the word belief.
Yeah.
Because you can't prove what this microwave cosmic background is. I mean, it could be unicorn farts for all I know, and you can't prove that it's not. Just an interpretation based on spectroscopy.
Imagine thinking that Doppler effect helps prove a spinning globe.
Say that again.
Imagine thinking that the Doppler effect helps prove a spinning globe.
Well, I mean, it doesn't. Yeah, I see his point, but it doesn't prove a spinning globe. It just indicates that it may be. It can be caused by anything. It doesn't mean that it's what he says it is, and he can't prove it anyway.
Yeah.
I didn't catch everything. So he said the cosmic microwave background proves what of the Earth? That it's spinning or that it's moving or
yeah, that it's spinning.
That it's round. That's spinning. Okay.
Yeah. Dawn,
I think
why are you not on? Dawn, why are you not on our side of the fence? Why are you still on their side?
Well, I still believe I'm on a globe. I love the flat Earth movement and the idea now, but I still believe I'm on a spinning globe.
Do you believe that Soundly shows the curvature of the Earth in his Pontchartrain shit?
I believe like 60% that is curvature, yeah, but obviously it's exaggerated.
An exaggerated claim normally gets dismissed.
I'm happy if people call him a faker on a show. I don't care. That's funny.
All right. What about gravity? What's your view on gravity? Are you still thinking that Cavendish proves gravity?
Oh no, I never thought that. I believe there's a downward force, but I mean, I can't prove it's mass attracting mass, but it seems like it is because obviously the Earth is a big mass and things seem to be attracted to it. So, I mean, that's good enough for me. I don't care about the Cavendish.
Apart from helium balloons that go the opposite way, right?
Yeah, well, that doesn't debunk it. I understand nature's variable and changeable.
Yeah, but you know
helium
that
going up doesn't debunk the downward force,
right? Say again.
Helium balloons going upwards doesn't debunk the downward force for me.
Really?
No.
Well, so however you say 13 stone, 14 stone?
I guess I haven't weighed myself in a while. Or I have, I just can't remember.
Well, we'll just say 14 stone, right?
Okay.
If you put your scales in the bottom of a swimming pool and then try weighing yourself in the bottom of a swimming pool, however do you think that you'll be?
I don't know. I'm going to assume lighter. But I don't know.
You can't even put your weight on it because the minute you try putting weight on it, it sends you back up.
Does it?
So the question then becomes, how heavy are you when you're in a swimming pool?
Well, you could breathe out all the air, right, and weigh yourself.
You can breathe out all the air, and you might get a little kind of. I mean, yeah, you're not going to get a value.
The
on
water
it
would still be supporting some
it.
of your weight, so I wouldn't measure the same. I'm guessing.
Oh, so it's
Some of
relative
your
to the density. So the air doesn't support your weight, but the water does. But you still think there's a downward force.
I guess the air supports your weight a tiny bit. I don't know.
It's relative.
Yeah, it
then.
does.
So the density of that air is relative to how much support it will give you.
Yeah, I think.
So relative density then, not gravity.
Yeah, but
So
the density argument doesn't describe a direction, whereas mass attracting mass does.
What makes you say it's a direction?
Well, because it's always down, isn't it? I'm not floating on my ceiling or having to hold on to the ground.
Except when it's not.
And even when it is, it's not even down. It's just more dense or less.
I've never seen a heavy object shoot sideways. You know what I mean, rather than fall downwards, unless it's thrown with another force.
You know those really heavy things that the ironmongers use when they make horseshoes, called anvils. They normally get dropped on. Wile E. Coyote tries dropping them on Roadrunner's head. If you get one of them and they're pretty heavy, you can pick them up, but they're pretty heavy. If you get that and drop that into a big pool full of mercury, that'll float.
Right.
Why doesn't that go down the way you tell me it does?
I don't know. I guess the mercury's affecting it.
Yeah. So it's relative to the medium. It's not relative to up or down. It's relative to the medium it's in. But sometimes you can make things go up. Sometimes you can make things go down. It depends on what the values of the medium compared to the density
Well,
is.
the anvil's still trying to go down, right? It's just supported. It's not going upwards, is it?
By the thing that's underneath it.
Yeah, it's not moving away from the mercury. It's still trying to go the same direction as usual, downwards.
Right, but
if you hold on, just let me give him a bit of clarity. If you put it in a bathtub and then filled it with mercury, it would go up.
Yeah,
okay.
That's what I was going to say.
Okay, but I believe it's still trying to go down while the mercury is lifting it up.
Literally isn't going down. It is.
I know, but it's still trying to, right? It's not
up.
flying up to the ceiling when you let go.
Not trying to go down. It factually is going to go up when you fill that bathtub with mercury. It will not continue to try and go down. It will actually go up.
But I mean, do you think that debunks mass attracting mass?
Yeah.
So mercury is more dense than the anvil.
Excellent. Well done, Zinder.
Right.
So relative density then. So relative to the density will direct the movement.
But none of the mercury is pouring upwards to your ceiling, is it? It's still being held down by the mass of the earth.
Anvil is. The anvil goes up towards the ceiling.
What medium's the mercury in? What medium is the mercury in?
Well, they're all in the same medium, right?
Yeah, what medium is that?
I don't know what you call it.
Air. So
okay.
if the mercury is more dense than the anvil, but the anvil and the mercury are both in air, then that's the direction because it's relative to the medium in which it's in. But if you were to get another liquid that was more dense than the mercury then's not going to go down, is it? It's going to go up, and the anvil's going to go up.
So would your argument, your belief in density mean that if on another plane, I guess in space, in the universe or in reality ever, would an anvil ever float diagonally upwards in your belief system?
Who cares?
Or would it always go towards
Who cares?
the mass?
We're talking about what actually happens in actual reality, not what happens on Mars in your fantasy world of space planets.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to have to see the mercury in the anvil float away into the sky to believe that it's just density, not a downward force.
No problem.
But what medium's the sky?
We can do that. We've got a video clip we can show you of mercury being put into a bathtub and the anvil going up. That's no problem. We can demonstrate that to you. So you're saying
but they're still trying to go down to Earth, right? Because they don't fly off into the sky and go through your ceiling.
Dawn, this is called cognitive dissonance. So
just
explain it again. Just try and repeat it maybe. It's not going down. It literally and actually is going up in the mercury.
That's like me lifting my speaker up and saying this debunks gravity because it's going upwards.
I'm saying it's going up and you're saying it's going down. That's called cognitive dissonance.
It's trying
not
to go
trying
down
to
to the
go
earth
down,
at the same
Dawn.
time.
It is actually going up, not trying to go down as you're continually asserting.
Yeah.
See, that's the opposite of what's actually happening.
The Mercury's overpowering the gravity, right, in that situation.
Oh, right. So your fantasy
A
belief
little
of
bit.
gravity is now being overcome by the relative density that causes this effect in actuality. So you're just going to insert your religious belief and then concede that it's something that's to do with gravity. Why would you do that, Dawn?
Well, I still believe it's being attracted to the mass of Earth because it's not flying into the sky.
It is. We've just said you pour the mercury and it goes towards the sky, up in your relative direction.
That's with the added mercury. It's still being held to the top of the
that's
mercury.
right. It's the relative density of the medium that it's in. Exactly as we describe. But then you insert this gravity thing. Even though it's not going down with the downward force you believe in, it's going up. And you say you still think it's forcing down when it's actually going up. This is called cognitive dissonance.
No,
I get the
it might not be. It might be that he's not understanding it, but let's just say for a minute that he was right, right? You realise that gravity, defined by Newtonian principles, has been expunged by snapping the wand by Isaac. Fucking hell, what's his name? Albert Einstein's theory of relativity, right? So even if gravity was something that you said, that's not what the science currently says.
I don't know.
I
understand your argument. It could be relative density, but I just don't think it is. Just Mercury making the anvil, raise up a tiny bit because
but here's the thing, though.
That doesn't
Here's the thing.
debunk mass attracting mass for me.
You just
the mass
literally
is still
said 5
attracting
minutes
the
ago,
anvil.
Dawn, if you could see it floating up towards the sky, it would debunk your assertion of mass attracting mass. Now we've literally got you to actually concede that it does go up, and you literally double down and say the total opposite, which is that the fact that it is going up does not debunk mass attracting mass. So your original assertion when you said it would, you're just going to double down and reassert your religious faith.
Things fall at different rates, right?
Literally conformed.
Mass attracting mass is still in action.
It's literally conformed to what you said initially would debunk it. Now you're saying the total opposite won't debunk it, correct?
No, I don't want the mercury involved. I want it to go flying upwards on its own as soon as you let go of it.
It does. 4th time, Dawn. What part of it's not going through?
No,
it does
you need an infinite tube that fits an anvil in it and loads of mercury to make it go all the way to the sky.
Yeah, you could. Exactly. If you had a tube and you filled it with mercury, you had enough mercury to fill that tube and an anvil was at the bottom, it would go all the way to the top of the tube. That's right, Dawn. Up.
I still think mass is attracting the anvil while it's raising upwards.
Oh, really?
That's all
well,
right,
that's nonsense, Dawn. That makes no sense. Do you not see
that?
That makes
it's
no
like
sense.
a plane
it's not going
flying
down
upwards. I still believe
anymore.
mass is attracting the plane down.
The mercury is denser than the anvil.
Yeah.
Yeah, relative density. That's correct, Alan.
It's like applying a force to the anvil, right?
Yeah.
Upwards.
Alan's correct. That's the end of the explanation. It's more dense. It's relative density. Precisely as we assert.
You just said it, Nathan. It's like applying a force, but without actually applying a force.
Yeah.
Dense liquids apply a force closer to the ground.
I mean, it's interesting, but I don't think it debunks mass attracting mass. I still feel like the anvil's being attracted by the Earth.
Attract mass. That's why he pointed out that the wand of mass attracting mass, Cavendish/Newtonian gravity, that wand has been snapped in two by Einsteinian's relativity gravity. Bending of space-time? Yeah, bending of space-time. That's what you guys currently believe is gravity, not mass attracting mass.
Mass still attracts mass in science.
No,
though, right?
that has been debunked and refuted by current science, Dawn. No. The wand of mass attracting mass, this magical action at a distance, has been debunked by Einstein with bending space-time, not mass attracting mass. This invisible force is no longer current science. It is not accepted.
You seem to know more than me on that.
It has been superseded by Einsteinian bendy space-time.
Dawn, I can give you the link for it if you'd like.
Yeah, okay.
Anthony, how would you describe the state where a denser object falls down and then hits a solid, so it can't go further down? How would you describe the state when it's just
would be called fall? That would be called fall arrest.
All right. Just to clarify.
Nathan, would you mind passing? Sorry, would you mind passing Dawn that link?
Yeah, sure.
And if you look halfway down, Dawn, actually, it's above the paragraph that reads. I'll read it to you just so that you know that it's there. It's above the paragraph that's headed "What we mean by here," and it reads. For instance, Einstein created his general theory of relativity, which provides our modern understanding of gravity with the express purpose of expunging non-locality from physics. Isaac Newton's gravity acted at a distance as if by magic, and general relativity snapped the wand in two by showing that the curvature of space-time, and not an invisible force, gives rise to gravitational attraction. But whatever Einstein's intention might have been, his theory began to reveal a different side as physicists put it to use. The workings of gravity turn out to be sparkling with non-local phenomena. And we call that bullshit. But what you guys have to accept is that it's not Newtonian principles for gravity anymore, because that wand has been snapped in two. It's now Einsteinian. So if you're ever going to prove gravity, you're going to have to find a bit of space-time to bend, because that's the current science.
Does he mean that it's not invisible?
No, he means it's the bending of space-time.
Yeah, but that's still stuff being attracted to the mass, right?
No, it's the bending of space-time.
The space-time curves into the mass.
It's
Have you got any space-time?
It's complete bullshit. If you can tell me what space-time is and how I can bend it, then I'll believe it.
Space-time is like unicorn parts.
Here by existing according to the scientists, and just to clarify, no scientist claims to know what gravity actually really is. I mean, this is why they could use like Newtonian gravity to describe things, yet it didn't work on other things. It's not about what gravity is, or it is about does a force exist or not.
Yeah, but would you agree though that if they can't describe it and they can't prove it, it probably doesn't actually exist?
Well, there
you can see it.
You can debate about it. I mean,
you can't see it exists.
We don't even have to call it gravity. We can just debate if it's a force. Is there a force pulling us down or not? We don't have to call it gravity.
No. Our density is greater than the medium that we're in, so we are more dense than the air that we are in. Like Anthony's example with the water. So you get
but Nathan, why don't we go upwards if we're more dense than the air, right? Because the air's less dense as it goes up, so we should go up.
Dense than the air.
Because we pass through it because we are more dense. In the same way, a helium balloon would do the opposite because it's less dense.
But why down? Why that direction?
Down is a relative term. Relative to you, it's down. Relative to a helium
do you know why
balloon,
it's that direction?
It's up. It depends on your relative position. Relative terms aren't proof of something either.
No, I'm just wondering.
Let me ask you this:
if you know why it goes in that direction, why the density?
Just explain. Direction is relative. Relative.
To what?
Exactly.
To
your
itself.
starting point. So relative to you, it's down. Relative to a helium balloon, it's up. If you're passing a plane and you're going up past the plane, relative to the people in the plane, you're going up. Relative to you, the plane's going down. It's not. It's going at a fixed altitude. But from your relative position going up in a helium balloon, the plane appears to go down. Right? Relative to you. Even I haven't finished my example, Dawn. You're so impatient. So a plane travels at one fixed height. You go up in a balloon and pass it. Relative to you, the plane is going down. It's not. It's just relative direction.
Okay. Yeah, you got it quite tightly sewed up.
Yeah. So in terms of relative density...
Right, hang on. Let me ask you two guys. Let's go through a thought experiment, because this is an easy way to describe. Imagine you've got a vacuum chamber, right? You've exhausted all the air out of it and there's nothing in it. And let's just say that it holds 10 litres of air, okay? We're going to pour 2 litres of helium in it. Then we're going to pour 2 litres of hydrogen in it. What do you think is going to happen with the 2 litres of helium and the 2 litres of hydrogen that's in the vacuum?
They will distribute each other until they come to an equilibrium where the helium is going to be up and the hydrogen is going to be upwards and the helium is going to be downwards.
Correct. So we'll add another 2 litres of nitrogen.
Because
we'll
hydrogen is lighter than helium.
No, nitrogen's heavier.
Oh,
And
what
then we'll
he
add
said.
another 2 liters of oxygen, and we'll add another 2 liters
So,
of sodium.
relative density
Hang on.
always
So we'll add
has
another
a
2.
direction.
Hang on a sec.
So
Hang
less
on.
dense objects
Hang on.
always go up.
Hang on, wait.
More dense
Dude, listen,
objects
I've not
always go
finished.
down. And I can understand
Zinta.
his question. Why don't denser objects go up and in relative to the
I think
medium?
my question was good, but now they seem to have tightened that little
Stop.
hole.
Please.
Because it's just
Hang on,
relative to this
Stop.
air that we have along
Let
the
me
flat
finish my
plane, right?
question.
Yeah,
we
but
we don't know any different.
Oh my god.
I still have other reasons, I think, to believe in gravity.
Yeah.
Let me ask
because
my question.
the only way to move objects is by applying a force to them.
No,
And
that's clearly not
this is
the case.
observable. It is observable with everything else. Yet,
Not the case.
when you stand on the ground and you reach equilibrium, let's say, with the relative density or with gravity, you can't go further down. You still feel the force on you, because otherwise, you would feel like weightless, right? And
for fuck's sake.
somehow relative density either causes a force or it is or a force is needed to cause relative
If something's
density.
moving up or down because of the density compared to the medium it's in, why that direction is still a question, right?
Yeah, and I still don't know why it always goes down. I mean, I can understand the helium balloon goes up due to relative density, yet denser objects always go down to the relative of the medium.
So it's like there's a universal direction to the relative densities.
Yeah, it seems like. So
But, I mean, they can argue that doesn't prove a globe, right?
Hello? Can I be heard?
Yeah,
I haven't finished my question. Let me finish asking my question. We've just got to the point where we've added 5 different gases of different densities into the container, and the container is now full. It's got no more room for it unless you start compressing it. So we've got 5 layers of different density. If we were to drop something in them densities and we didn't know what its density was, we wouldn't know where it would sit. But if we knew what its density was relative to the gases that have just been poured into the container, we could tell you exactly where it'll sit, and we can tell you whether or not it's up or down in relative to the environment it's in. But actually, it's not up or down. It's just its relative value.
Sideways, right, horizontal, it wouldn't go to the same place, would it?
Why does left and right have
a direction of up and down
to do with it?
Hold on,
why does left and right have anything to do with it?
Yeah, when Zinder gives his example, the arrested part of the journey. So if you're travelling down through the air in a parachute and you hit the lip of a cliff, you've still got plenty of air below you, but because you've been stopped, suddenly, all right, you're not going sideways. But the same principle applies if you're talking about stuff that's travelling in your relative terms up. It could hit the roof of something and then spread out sideways for dawn.
Yeah.
Like steam dawn.
Doesn't prove a globe, but I'm still asking, why does the relative densities have a universal direction?
Well, it doesn't. Like
it's not a direction.
If you go up and then you fill your kettle with water, you boil it, and then it doesn't turn off. It just stays on, and the switch malfunctions, and it fills the kitchen. Well, the steam goes up because it's less dense, hits the ceiling, like Zinder's example with something hitting a rock, and then starts to spread out sideways.
Yeah, because something is in the way when it goes sideways.
Yeah,
right?
The same as your example when something goes down, Zinder. Something's in the way, right?
Yeah, something is in the way, so it blocks me. I agree, and the point I was making there is when it blocks me, there is still a force implied to me. Is relative density causing this force that I can measure myself?
What force? That's the point.
Yeah, like the force of
relative
the force that we call weight.
Than you. You've got more density beneath you in the form of the rock. That's it. That doesn't mean there's still a force acting on you.
So relative density is trying to push me into the ground, right? The ground is stopping me, and then I get the weight that I can see on a scale, right?
The weight is just your relative weight in that medium. Your relative density to that medium and its comparison can be measured with a spring. And you call that gravity. That's what you call gravity. No, it's just the very real fact that you're more dense than the air that you're in. So Anthony gives the example over and over again. You go into a pool and you put the same scale, the same measuring device for gravity, right, weight, and what happens? Oh, right, well, the medium's changed. So, oh, well, suddenly we've got to account for mediums. Suddenly it's not just gravity because we're not in air anymore.
Yeah,
it's a valid point, guys, because if it was gravity, right, you would need to demonstrate the additional force for what we can already explain with relative density, and that completes it. But if you're going to say there's an extra force, well, when we say, well, how are you going to prove it? And then you say, well, we can't. You guys never accept that that's not really acceptable, given that it's all about what you can prove in science. And to conject about something is a belief, a theory, but it's treated as though it's true. And we say that's a reification fallacy. You can't claim something that's conceptual as true.
Right on. And with that, I'm going to say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the Nathan Oakley audience. So if you're watching this on Nathan Oakley channel and you don't realise that it's actually my second channel, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with all the Flat Earth debate pre-show and after-show goodness. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!